Tonight, on Adventures with Boog, we become scientists. So me and Booger are out here on the water, and tonight we've decided to become scientists. So tonight we are going to do a big versus small lure challenge. So I have absolute massive 5 of diamonds, the biggest one they have in store, and one of the tiniest 5 of diamonds that they have in store. So me and Booger's plan is tonight we got about 2 hours to fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to troll for a half hour, which with each lure on the rod down in the water, catch as many fish as we can catch, weigh them all and average their weights. Then we're going to go find some spots and we're going to cast each lure for about a half hour each, weigh the fish. Whichever one catches the most fish, catches the most amount of weight is obviously the winner. We're out here on McGee Lake again. We know that there's a ton of fish in this lake. Great lake for catching fish. It's going to be a good night of catching fish. Stay tuned and let's see where we get. We got the small 5 of diamonds on the rod here. And we're out here in the middle of the lake. We'll start trolling at about that 2 km/h range where we caught lots of pike here last time. If you haven't seen that video, check the card up above. It's a great video, lots of pike in that video there. I've got 30 minutes on the timer. We'll get the lure in the lake and see how long it takes us to catch our first fish. All right, the timer has started and the lure is dropping now. Oh, there's our first fish right there. First fish on the line, just like that. 2 minutes in, first fish on the line. Here we go, fish on. Let's try and keep them on here. Let's go. Oh yeah, this is not bad. There we go, just like that, first fish. See if we can get them in the boat here. There we go. Belly lately has decided to take a real interest in the fish. She definitely has her opinions about us taking fish home. But we'll get the scale zeroed here and see how much he weighs. Alright, so there's the weight, 0 pounds. Let's get the fish on here and see how much he weighs. There we go, the first weight on the small lure, 1 pound, 14 ounces. Let's get him back in the water. Off he goes. Let's get back fishing. Let's try and get some more fish on that small lure. And kids, just remember, the only difference between science and mucking around is writing it down. Alright, let's get this lure back in the water and let's catch another fish. There we go. Finally get the camera going here. I'm going to try a little. I don't have a GoPro chest mount, but I got this life jacket. And we'll try that out as a GoPro chest mount. Hopefully we don't lose the GoPro in the lake, especially since it's my brother's. I'll lock it right up to my life jacket so we won't lose it. And maybe we'll get some more different style of shots for you guys and catch a couple more beautiful fish. When you're trolling out here for pike, a good little tip is every now and again just pull the line and get the lure to kind of speed up and then fall. Or use the front of the rod to get the lure to speed up and fall. Because if you have a pike trailing that lure, and all of a sudden that change in speed can just initiate that strike right behind you and you'll get that fish on the line. Alright, so that's the first half of the small lures, 30 minutes. I'm going to run across the lake to the shadow side of the lake and see if we can get something there. Not much biting right here. So I'm gonna slide over there, and I'm not gonna waste the lure's time while I'm just getting across the lake here. All right, we just got over to the shadowed side of the lake. Oh, Booger almost threw us in the water. We just got over here to the shadow side of the lake first. And before I get this little lure back in the water, tell us in the comments down below which lure you guys think is gonna catch the most fish and catch the most amount of weight. I think the little guy's gonna catch the most amount of fish, but I don't think it's gonna catch the most amount of weight. But give us your opinion down below, and give us a like, subscribe if you got a chance, and help us grow our channel. Thank you, we appreciate the view, and let's get this lure back in the water. Booger's getting really confident in the canoe. She's starting to decide it's a good idea to walk around and crawl under the seats and crawl over the center thwart. So that can make it a little bit tricky sometimes, but it's all in good fun. We did try out the outriggers and pontoons over the weekend, and they work absolutely great. I just forgot my crescent wrench at home tonight to put them on, so we're just out here in the canoe, just me and Boog, and floating along, catching some fish. Oh, there he is, come on. We might have got one here. Just a little one, but a small leader. Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Three minutes, 30 seconds. Fish just jumped right in front of the boat here. Let's see if he comes and has a little snack on our lure. Come on, fishy. The little lure needs you. Come on, buddy. Oh, he just jumped back over there in the lily pads. He missed our lure. Missed that last guy. Just gonna turn back out towards the lake. We caught our first fish actually just basically in the middle of the lake, so maybe I'll head out there for the last couple minutes here and see if we can catch one more fish on the small lure. I'm surprised. I thought this small lure was just gonna pick them up like crazy, you know? It's just a little bite-sized snack for those pike. But let's see what happens here. I'll just drop it down into the deeper water and see if we can't catch a fish. Fish are jumping everywhere here though. We gotta get on some topwater bite out here, that's for sure. 15 seconds. Come on, pike, if you got any last in you, come on. Any last pike, come on, last call. All right, so that concludes the small lures, fishing, trolling. We're gonna use the GPS on my fish finder to try and do a very similar pattern to what we did with the small lure, with the big lure. And we'll see if we can catch some fish, that's for sure. The final result of the small lure was one fish, 1 pound, 14 ounces. I definitely think whatever fish eats this big lure is gonna be bigger than 1 pound, 14 ounces, but let's get out there and see what happens. All right, so this is right about where we started with the other lure. I'm gonna drop this big bad boy down and see if we can get a fish on the line. I'm gonna start the timer right there. The timer started. I'll drop the lure in and see if we can get fish on the line. Let's go here. It's a heavy lure. You can feel it fluttering every single time in the water, actually. You can feel it pulling on the rod and fluttering every single time it moves in the water. Let's reel them up, make sure there's no weeds on there. No weeds. Get them back down. Let's get a fish. Come on, big lure. We want to catch a huge, humongous fish. Huge, humongous fish. The biggest fish you ever seen. Come on, baby. We're at 18 minutes, 30 seconds, and we're almost right about the point to turn over to the other side of the lake, just like we did with the other lure. We're keeping pretty good pace, about that 2.5, 3 kilometers an hour, just depending on how Booger wants to sit in the canoe. Yeah, we're having some fun out here, even though we're not catching a ton of fish. I tell you, it's always beautiful to come out here on the lake, listen to birds, watch Booger try and get excited and try and catch the birds out of the canoe. She always thinks that's a good time. So we're at 16 minutes. We got to this portion where we turned around a little bit sooner, just because we didn't catch a fish on this go here. So I'm gonna pause the timer again, reel up the rod, and head over to the other side of the lake and see if we have any more opportunities over there. We're right back on here, back where just about where we started with the other lure. We'll get it back in the water and see if we can catch a fish. Let's get one in the boat here. Let's go, big lure, let's go. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. Let's get this camera rolling. Come on, don't lose him. Oh, we lost him. That was a big fish. Oh, my gosh. Forgot the cardinal rule of YouTube. Never stop recording. Damn it. Damn it. That was a big fish. I should go back for him, but unfortunately I didn't go back for any of the fish I missed on the other lure, so I'm not gonna go back for any of the ones on this. We're trying to keep it as scientific as we can out here in the water. They keep jumping like crazy right behind me. I'm just gonna slow down just a little bit to see if we can catch these guys. Maybe they're following us. I don't know. Nope, no weeds. Get her back in the water. Come on, buddy. We need a big one here. Let's go. We need one. We're down at 11 minutes. Almost out of time for the big lure as well. Not a ton of bites tonight, a little bit slow, that's for sure. That being said, I'm using 2 absolutely extreme lures. One on one end of the spectrum and one on the absolute opposite. So if that's not what the pike are feeding on, no matter what you do, no matter how big or how tiny you can get, if they're feeding on stuff that's 3 inches long, that's what you're gonna catch them on. So we'll just keep going here. We got still about 10 minutes and maybe we can get one of these big monster slaunches right out of this lake, get them in the boat, and get a good weight on them. Booger's looking antsy. She's like, hey man, where's the fish? Been slow tonight. Get those fishes. Did get a couple of bites right in this area last time with the small lure, so maybe there's some big brother pike hanging around here gonna come and eat some big old baits. Come on, fishy. There he is, there he is. Oh my God. Wow, holy, turning the whole boat right around. Oh my gosh. Or it's a big stick. Huge stick. Yep, big old stick. Big old stick, turns the whole canoe. There it comes out. That was a big stick. Let's get back in the water. Let's try and catch a fish here. I was really excited. It felt like it was going to be a big fish, but trees are pretty big fish too. I guess if it's in the water. My sister would be like, hey, it's a mountain fish. Gotta watch out for those rockfish and those mountain fish. That was a mountain fish, Maddie. That was a mountain fish. Big old mountain fish. But Madison, we just want the boulder fish. We just want the boulder fish. The amount of fish that I see jumping, it is just crazy. Every 2 or 3 minutes, you just see splash, splash, jump, splash, all over the place here. It's just wild. I wish I knew what they were eating off the surface, because come out here, go fly fishing and catch a pike on a fly. That would be a fun time. Maybe that's a video. Maybe that's a video I'll have to do. I'll put a poll up top here. And comment, guys. Let us know if maybe you want to see some pike fly fishing. I've never fly fished for a pike before. I've only fly fished a couple times. And I have caught some trout, but that's about it. Got some weeds. I should put those to the weight for this big lure. It might help them out a bit, get an ounce or two at least. Sun's starting to go down. Those days are getting shorter and shorter as the summer's coming to a wind here, or to a wrap up here. Let us know in the comments down below what we should do in the winter. Obviously, we're going to go ice fishing. We're going to try and do some hot tenting. Try and figure out that with Booger. But especially in the fall, it's going to be a little difficult. We're usually outdoors so much, and you know, when the lakes start freezing, it's hard to be out there and catch fish. So we're going to try some different stuff and try and keep you guys entertained throughout the fall, and then definitely catch some fish back in the winter once it freezes up. Minute 30 seconds left. All right, that's time up. So we're gonna reel this lure in, and we're gonna head over to some spots where we can cast, and I think we can catch some fish. Minute 40 left in the big lure's cast time. I think honestly that this lure is just way too big for the fish in this lake. There's gonna be just a handful of fish that are ever gonna bite this thing in this lake, and I have yet to find where they are, that's for sure. Alright, that concludes our last cast with the big lure. We'll get the small lure on here, and again we'll just go up and down this bank with the small lure and see if we can get something in the boat. I have a feeling we'll have better luck with the small lure, but you never know. So I'm starting the timer on the small lure's casting time, and we'll just go up and down this bank and try and catch some fish. Oop, that was a good sploosh right off the bat. It's always good to start with a bad cast because the rest of them always get better then. This one I'm really going to have to slow down that retrieve because it takes a long time to sink. But that lure sends out not too bad, that's for sure. Cast out pretty good. There he is. Oh, just lost him. Got a fish on a second cast for that small lure. Let's get it back in there, see if we can get another bite. Oh, there he is, I saw him. There he is. There he is. Booger's all excited. Get him in the boat here. Belly, belly, stay down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Down. Okay, well, the small lure's got its second fish here. Just a teeny tiny fish. Maybe a pound if we're lucky. But that being said, it's got a fish. There we go. 1.1 pounds. Again, remember, the difference between science and mucking around is writing it down. Alright, so that's currently 2 fish for the small lure, 0 fish for the big lure. The fish that the small lure are catching are pretty tiny, that's for sure. But that being said, it's fish and the big lure is not catching any fish. So we'll get it back in the water and see if we can catch some more fish. Right now, there is 3 minutes left in the small lure's casting time. So let's see, maybe I'll catch 1 or 2 more fish. Let's go. Come on. There we go. We got one. Here he is. Keep pressure on him. Come on. Come on. Bella, relax, please, baby girl. Please, Bella, relax. Oh, right as the buzzer goes. Right as the buzzer goes. Chill, buddy. All right, there he is. 10 ounces. Oh, this guy is slimy, slimy, slimy. So it shows that the small lure is at least catching some fish. So for the last 20 minutes here, what I'm going to use is not the absolutely massive lure, but I'm going to use something kind of in the middle for what the size of fish that I'm seeing are, to see if we can try and catch something just a little bit bigger than what the small tiny lure is catching, and see if we get a little bit more of a understanding of the way a size of a lure interacts with the size of the fish. So I've got this lure kind of right in between the two. Might be a little bit more towards the small side, but we're going to cast him for the last 20 minutes and see if we can get on some fish and get some bigger guys in the boat. Alright, so that concludes this episode of Adventures with Boog. We had to move it into the truck because it's actually too dark outside to film this with my camera. What we can conclude is the little lure was the only thing really catching fish tonight. So I guess what we can say is the little lure catches more fish. We can't really say whether it catches bigger or smaller fish because we don't know what the big lure could have caught. We had one bite on that big lure and it felt absolutely massive compared to the little dinks the little lure was pulling in. But that's it for tonight. Me and Booger are retiring as scientists for now. If you have any other Mythbusters things you'd like us to try out, let us know in the comments down below. Also, check out our Facebook and Instagram at Adventures with Boog. And that's all for tonight. As always, hook sets are free, and have a great night.